Hey YouTube modeling community, this is my unboxing of my entry into, I believe it's Charlie Mack's group build for the 80th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. The rules being you need to build something that existed prior to December 7th, 1941. So I chose the Vega 5 Lady Lindy, which was Amelia Earhart's plane when she crossed the Atlantic, as well as some transcontinental speed records. This is a special hobby 1-72. The box art is really nice. There's a nice representation of the plane on the back. From what I've read, this is a pretty nice, clean little kit. I did see this plane in 2015 with my family on our family vacation to Washington, D.C. Put up some references. So this is the exhibit at the museum, and I'll refer to some other shots I took when we were there a little bit further in the video. I'll just read a little bit about the plane and its history. The Lockheed Vega, above all the 5 series, is among the most famous planes in history due to the records established by various pilots. In 1927, the designer J.K. Northrop designed a shoulder-wing, single-engine transport monoplane. The Vega has a self-supporting wing and wooden monocoque, which was very firm and smooth and represented the apex of aerodynamics at that time. The first prototype had its maiden flight on July 4th, 1927. The most famous Vega, the Vega 5B, and named Winnie Mae, was used by pilot Willie Post with Harold Gatty as navigator when they circled the world from June 23rd to July 1st, 1931. Found on exhibit at the Smithsonian Institute, perhaps more famous is the Vega 5B, called Lucky Lindy. Pilot Amelia Earhart not only established several speed records for women, but was also the first woman in history to fly solo over the Atlantic. She began on the evening of May 20th, 1932 at Harbor Grace, Newfoundland, and 15 hours and 18 minutes later touched down in Londonderry, Ireland. Later that year, on August 24th, 1932, Amelia set off for a coast-to-coast transcontinental flight from Los Angeles to Newark, making it in just over 19 hours, and so becoming the first woman to achieve such a feat. It's a pretty famous plane. As to the kit, the instructions are fairly straightforward. It gives a nice list of the colors, noting which pieces you're going to use and not use, what color all the pieces are, so on and so forth. And then it has this nice sheet here, which again gives a little history of the plane, but then it has very specific notes. I will come back to this in a moment after I go through what's in the kit. Yeah, wow. Very clean. I don't see any flash on any of these parts. Well, little to none. Little to none, I mean, certainly not what I've been dealing with lately. There is some flash in between the pistons on the engine part, but the rest just looks like very minimal cleanup, which will be a nice change of pace. Wow. So this appears to be a resin tail, and it's like wafer thin. That's cool. Yeah, just minimal flash here and there. Not bad at all. Okay. And then decals. Nice set. Nice windows. So now I'll get into some of the issues. Well, actually, there are no issues, which is the good news. You may have seen this in a previous video. This is a photo of Amelia Earhart on the Lady Lindy, either just before or just after the transatlantic flight. And it says here, in these instructions, during the Atlantic crossing, Earhart's Vega did not bear the wing and rudder registration nor the manufacturer's logo on the tail fin. So on the plane that's in the museum, so you'll see the tail has the Lockheed logo and the tail code, as well as underneath the wing. The other thing you should notice is, let's get the same side for comparison. So you'll notice here, there's actual windows, but here, there aren't. This, was the earlier version, early in that year, which had no markings and had the windows. All she was trying to do is just get across the Atlantic. Okay, whereas here, later that year, now this is how it looked in the transcontinental speed record flights, and you can see it's kind of streamed down for those flights. So no longer that what they did, and I actually read up on this, they removed the window frames and then reskinned over that. They removed this blister, so you can see that's gone. And then the same thing on the other side. And if you look closely, it's probably hard to see in this printout, but you can kind of see the outlines of the old, of where the windows were, because basically they just pulled them out and then skinned right over it. So that's a good thing, because the kit, as you saw, it has all the windows, and it has the blisters, and it has the door and that outline around that one window scribed in. So that's all good to make this one, the one that actually crossed the Atlantic. And then I'll just leave these markings off, and then what they have you do is paint over those, right? I can't tell, but it appears these are blacked out or redded out, as the case may be. So this is how I'm going to do it. The other thing is, fitted with period photos show the plane fitted with various styles of exhausts. So on here, it's very clear it's those exhausts. So those are the ones I'm going to use, whatever piece that is. It is not this exhaust, which you see here in this reference. So that's interesting in and of itself, that it's, it's the same plane, but they made some upgrades clearly to make it faster for those speed trials or speed records. So that's the one I'm building right there, as we see here, without these markings. And now I'll get started. So I'm going to open these up and check these out. Wow. So like full cards. I've never seen anything like this before. Finest to coarse. That's really cool. Looking forward to trying that. Nice. So I have 3 women in the house, so these are very similar to their nail files, which I have in there, I've used before. So that's coarse and finer on one. That makes sense. Same thing here, and then, down a step. That's cool. Yeah, they're all like that. But these are nice that they come so thin. I'm looking for the one, like this. Do stuff like this where I, to get in. So that's really nice that this is really a nice set. Yeah, Jared, again, 1,000,000 times, thank you. I hope to complete the Lindy in a single video, so until then, thanks for watching and happy modeling.